Hey, this is David Breslow, and I want to welcome you to today's edition of Mental Golf Coaching, and I'll be back with you in a moment. Today, I want to talk to you about the reactive golfer. The majority of the golfers that I work with come to me and tell me stories about their frustrations and their complaints about their game and so on and so forth. We all know what they are. They're pretty much the same for most people. They either lack confidence or they get frustrated and they're negative and they're wondering how to be more positive and so on and so on and so on. These are very common issues, very common situations to confront. However, what I would like to talk with you about today is that the majority of the golfers I speak to, I would say well over 85 to 90%, maybe even higher, as funny as that might sound, they play what I call reactive golf. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is they tend to wait for some situation to happen and then they react to it. And then they try to figure out how to change their reactions to make it better for them. And every time I hear that, I can't help but think that that's backwards. That's backwards. Why go out to the golf course and just wait for things to happen? Wait for a fire to start, let's say, and then try to figure out how to put that fire out while you're playing the game. Very, very difficult, very, very frustrating. And if you're listening to me, you probably have had that experience before. We all have. I've done it too. We all have done that. We'll be playing along, things are maybe going okay, and then we hit a bad shot or hit one in the water or miss a short putt or whatever it might be for each person. And then we're reacting. We get angry, we get frustrated, we lose confidence, we lose consistency, we start making poor choices. Why? Because we are reacting to the situation instead of creating what we want. Those are two completely different mindsets. And the majority of golfers, like I said, they play reactive golf. They're out there on the course the entire round, reacting, reacting, reacting. And what you need to understand is that as a mindset, all that's doing is keeping you on guard. And when you play around to golf like that, you're playing and you're struggling just to try to hold it together all the time because you're kind of just waiting for the other shoe to drop because you just know it's going to happen eventually, right? So it creates all of this kind of negative mindset about looking forward to having problems. Why would you want to play around to golf like that? It's not very comfortable. It creates a lot of tension, creates a lot of inconsistency, creates a lot of worry, creates a lot of emotional disruption. Why would you want to do that? But that's what most people do because that's kind of what we're taught by society, that things happen and you learn how to react to them. And when I say react to them, what I'm really talking about is coping. We're often told about how to cope better. And once again, a very common thing in society, even in the world of sports psychology. A golfer will go to a sports psychologist or a psychologist and talk about their game and so on. And so what do? They get a bunch of coping mechanisms. And every time I hear that, I think the same thing. That's backwards also. Here's why. Here's the definition. When you're done listening to this, go look in a dictionary, look up the word cope, C-O-P-E, and here are the synonyms you will find. Some of the synonyms: to get by, to deal with, to manage, to struggle with, to handle. Okay, that's what coping is. Is that really what you want to do on the golf course? Do you want to just get by? Do you want to handle? Do you want to manage things? We hear golfers talking about that all the time in interviews. Oh, how did you manage that situation? How did you manage this situation? Well, if you really think about it, take a step back. Coping leads to mediocrity. That's what I always say. Coping is lame because what it does is it puts you in a mindset where you're waiting for something to happen. So then you can go ahead and now apply your new coping skills. Okay. The fire already started. It's too late. It's too late. Do you get that? Why wait for something to happen so that you can start coping with it? If all you're interested in doing is coping, then all you're interested in doing is waiting for something to happen, waiting for some fire to start for you, and then try to figure out how to put it out. Well, that keeps the world of sports psychology busy, actually. And actually, it keeps my world busy as well. Because when golfers call me, that's exactly what they think is going to happen. But that's not what I do. What I will say to you right away is, I'm not interested in helping you be a better coper. What's the strength in that? So you're better at handling things. Too late. The fire already started. All that means is you're getting better at putting out fires. Wouldn't you rather have fewer fires than be better at putting out the fires that you already have? That's a pretty common question I ask. And when golfers hear it, they tend to go, "What?" Because they never heard that before. So, wouldn't you rather have fewer fires to put out rather than be good at the fires that you do have? You're working way too hard. Stop being a reactive, coping golfer. What you want to do is start to be what I call a creative golfer. Stop for a moment and ask yourself a simple question. What am I thinking right now? Because if you really understand the power of thought, other than the general way that it's put in most of these books, if you really understand the creative power of thought, you will find that you can stop for a moment and literally start to create what you want. You can create the thoughts that you want. You can create the feelings that you want. You can create the actions that you want. And now you've shifted from coping to creating. So ask yourself a simple question. What do I want here? No matter where you are in the course, no matter what situation you're in, as soon as you notice yourself coping and putting out fires and all that stuff, just stop for a moment mentally and ask yourself, what do I want right now? What do I want right now? And your mind will give you the answers. You won't have to worry about it. It'll say something to you like, I'm just going to make this up. It'll say something to you like, well, what I want here is to be calm. What I want here is to be collected. What I want here is to make a really good decision on this shot. What I want here is to see this shot as a completely new and fresh moment for me. And see, in this way, it doesn't matter what just happened 30 seconds ago, because you've now shifted from reactive golfer to creative golfer. If you really get this, and if you don't get it right away, play this over and over again. You will get it. Just start to notice when you're being reactive golfer out on the golf course, which is what most of them are doing. And just stop for a moment mentally and ask yourself the question, what is it that I really want right now? And let the answers flow. You will start shifting the inner dialogue automatically by that very powerful question. It's a great question to ask. And what it does is puts you back in position to be the creative golfer that you really want to be, instead of the reactive golfer looking for problems all the time, just waiting for problems to pop up. That's no way to play a round of golf. Become the creative golfer, and all of a sudden, this sense of freedom will overtake you. It's a much more wonderful way to play a round of golf. Give it a shot. Try it at the range. Try it anywhere. Doesn't matter. Get good at it. Get practiced at it, and you will get good at it. So, Dave Breslow, thanks for hanging out with me for a few minutes. And you're certainly welcome to leave a message here in cyberspace. Let us know how it's going with you. And you're also welcome to visit me at www.mentalgolfcoaching.com. Learn a little bit more about me. Take a look at the Wired to Win product that actually teaches golfers how to be much more creative on the golf course and stop coping altogether. We don't even deal with all that stuff. It's not worth it. So once again, thanks for hanging out, and I look forward to talking to you real soon. Take care.